Hey everybody, Mike here from Extra Life Gamer Live, bringing you another video, and today we are doing a recent pickup video. These pickups will be from the last few months. They will cover recent purchases and donations to the CAF, which is awesome. So I just figured I'd give you a quick showdown of what we got, put a little bit of gameplay up on the screen there for you, and mention a little bit about them. So let's jump straight into it, shall we? So first up on the pickups is Aladdin for the Sega Mega Drive. Get that in the camera there. There we go. Now this is a awesome side-scrolling platformer for the Mega Drive. It was one of the first games I got for the Sega Mega Drive when I was a kid. Really enjoy this. Looks amazing. Even to this day, it's held up really well. You play as, of course, as Aladdin, and you are playing through the movie or events of the movie sort of thing that have been put into a video game format. I'm sure most of you have played Aladdin. It's one of the probably all-time classics on the Sega Mega Drive. Let's give a little thing. When was this released? Was released in... Probably should look this up beforehand. According to the trademark on here, 1993. I got this as part of a package deal with my Sega Mega Drive, which I got for Christmas, which was the Aladdin package. It was awesome. I kept that in its box for as long as I could, the Mega Drive. Sadly gone now, but still a very awesome game, very cool side scroller, some brilliant levels on there from all different parts of the films. There's an awesome magic carpet ride, which I haven't quite got to yet on my most recent playthrough of this, but it was brutally hard, I remember, as a kid, so it'll be interesting to go back and give that a try and see if I can get through that again. Next up is another Sega Mega Drive game, or Genesis depending on where you're from, and that is Madden NFL94. Got to admit, don't know huge much about this game other than obviously it's a American football game from the long-running Madden series. This has been going for absolute years now, and this is one of the early ones on the Mega Drive. Haven't played much of it because I'm not a big sports fan, but it's always good to have this in the collection. Another title, again, for the Sega Mega Drive is the infamous Shaqfu. I have this a couple of times on the Mega Drive now, and it was released back in... If I can find the date for you again... Copyright and publisher 1994, and this is a one-on-one fighting game with the titular Shaqfu, you know, the famous basketball player who decided it would be great to do his own fighting game, and this is notoriously bad. It is known as being one of the worst Mega Drive games of all time, although I've heard quite a few people out there that are willing to defend this and say it was actually quite a decent game. I had a quick go on it, and as you can see from the footage, I could not get anywhere with this whatsoever. Really tough game. Looks really good though. It's not a bad looking game, I don't think, for the Mega Drive and for its time. But it was just a brutal fighting game, and considered one of the less popular fighting games, one-on-one fighting games of the genre at the time. So at the back of the box it mentions Shaquille O'Neal, 7.5 foot, 21.5 stone, master of Shakido, which apparently within this game Shaquille O'Neal creates his own form of martial arts and takes on some of the all-time greatest fighters in the world and elsewhere. From the look of it, it's a really creepy game. Use all your techniques to beat the evil Set and his minions. Face 12 original characters with up to 6 special moves each, magic morphing weapons and teleports, and their own unique fight locations. Free gameplay options including special story mode, starring Shaq, plus tournament and duel. So there you go, there's a bit on Shaqfu by Shaquille O'Neal. It is a 24 meg cartridge, no less, which means basically that's the cartridge there. The little red tab on the side. These are always larger cartridges. Yeah, one of the more interesting titles on the Mega Drive, for better or worse, really. So next up is another Master System game, and that is the Lillehammer 94 Winter Olympics on the Sega Master System. And there we go. There's the box with the cool art and cartridge. No manual in this one, unfortunately. Let's have a quick read on the back. The Winter Olympics offers you the ultimate experience in sports simulation. You will race against the best in the world and the clock, fighting for gold in a game where you'll face 10 spectacular events, testing your speed, strength, skill and endurance to the limits. It's your chances to go for gold in the world's greatest winter sports spectacle. To be honest, tried having a go at this and I'm not very good at it. Not my type of game, but again, always good to have in the collection. So that is an awesome addition. It's got the original price tag on there of $11.99. If you can make that out. I'm assuming that's the original one, excluding VAT. There we are. Next up, we have another Master System game, and that is, for 1 or 2 players, World Soccer, the Mega Drive cartridge, or the Mega cartridge, sorry, for the Sega Master System, not the Mega Drive cartridge. On the back, we've got dribbles, passes, corner kicks, etc. Retrieve the opponent's ball by tackling, get past his strong defense with an overhead shot to take advantage of a split-second unguarded goal and head the ball into the net. Also features penalty kicks to decide a tie game for 1 or 2 players. So a little bit before the FIFA games, we had the World Soccer Mega cartridge. Oh, well, we haven't even got the FIFA games now, but the EA soccer games, I guess. Or football club games, whatever they're calling it now. World Soccer. Very basic Master System game, but good for its time. And another one that I'm glad to have in the collection. Next up, we have another Master System game. And this is from the action section of the Master System games. And that is Asterix. There we go. Plays on the Master System 2, Mega Drive, Genesis with Master System power-based converter, according to the case. Getafix, the druid, whose magic position has kept his village from falling into Caesar's hands, has been kidnapped. Join Asterix and Obelix as they try to rescue the druid and save the village. So this is a side-scrolling action game on the Master System. Really colourful, really cool looking game. We have it complete here with both cart and manual, which is awesome stuff. Yeah, so side-scrolling action game where you play as Asterix. I believe you can choose Obelix as well. 1 or 2 players, which is awesome. Again, really colourful game. During the playthrough of this one, I was capturing the footage. It is quite a fun-looking game. I quite enjoyed it. And always awesome to have this in the collection. Next up, we are continuing with the Master System theme here. We have Walt Disney's classic, The Jungle Book. This is another side-scrolling kind of arcade platformer / action game based around the film, obviously. Get down to the bare necessities of life and escort Mowgli through the jungle to the safety of the human village. Fight the boogie-eyed snake Kaa and defeat Shere Khan, the hungry tiger, in this exciting adventure based on Disney's classic. It'll drive you ape crazy. It's another fun game, really colourful game, and not a bad looking game for the Master System. I've seen better looking games, but I enjoyed playing this to capture the footage. I believe there was a Mega Drive version of this as well. I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to go look that up. But Jungle Book for the Master System in the collection, and is awesome. Next up, another Master System game, and this is a classic in all kind of aspects. I believe this is considered a really fond one, and this is Land of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse. Another kind of platformy type action game, as will common on the Master System. So we've got on the back of the box, journey with Mickey Mouse through spooky castle ruins, dark caverns and enchanted forests, and a toy shop gone crazy. Use your wits and Mickey's magic to evade challenging traps, explore secret passages, and restore peace and happiness to the Land of Illusion. Up until picking this up, I hadn't actually played this game, so it's cool to get the footage of this, as it was all the other ones previously. And I'm looking forward to getting a bit more time on this one, because I'm told it is a really cool game for the Master System. So next up, and the last of the Master System games in these recent pickups, is Jurassic Park on the Master System. We've got another price tag there of $11.99. Obviously, to fall in line with the film itself. This is On the back we've got, "Look Grant, you've got to help us. With the computer security systems out of commission, there's no telling how many dinosaurs have escaped and are running around free. We have to recapture them or Jurassic Park will not open on schedule. Not to mention the fact that with those dangerous animals out there, we have no way of getting off the island alive." So this is an action game with quite a few different scenes to it. I believe this is also the same version which is also on the Game Gear, which is considered one of the best or better Game Gear games out there, and it's not a bad Master System game, to be fair. It has a brilliant kind of intro movie-esque type cutscene type thing for the Master System, which looks cool, and you have all like different levels of the games create like kind of different challenges. So you have like one where you're trying to protect the Jeep from attacking dinosaurs. You've got scenes where you're facing off against dinosaurs like one-on-one, and then there's like a platforming part of it where you've got to get through the jungle. It's a really cool looking game, and considered one of the better Master System games and Game Gear games, I do believe. So next up is a recent Xbox 360 donation to the CAF by a good friend of ours, and that is Ben 10 Galactic Racing. And I've not had time to look at this game myself yet, but it is a kart racing game based in the Ben 10 universe with 1 to 4 players. There'll be some footage up on the screen of this once I capture it, because I've not done that yet. We've got challenge your friends at high speed and become the ultimate galactic racer. You can race across 25 different tracks, done by the Cartoon Network. Had at the time, I believe, online racing, I think, but I'm gonna guess that's long gone now. But yeah, this will be an interesting one to check out, and like I said, we'll have some footage up on the screen now. I just haven't played this myself yet, so I can't mention much about it. Next up, we've got a couple of Wii U titles. I've recently been going around trying to pick up as many Wii U titles that I don't already have in the collection. Mainly because now that the Wii U shop's closed, there's nowhere to get any of these digitally, so I want to get physical copies where I can. First up, we've got Nintendo Land, which was a collection of mini games which I believe launched with the Wii U packed in, but for some reason I didn't get that with mine. It's like a Nintendo themed theme park, actually, where each kind of world is a bunch of different mini games with different aspects of how you use the Wii U pad and stuff like that. It's experience a new dimension of fun with the Wii U gamepad. So basically it's a tech demo, to be honest. 12 unique attractions to showcase the Wii U gamepad, so they're really pushing on the different features that the Wii U gamepad had in this. And you have all different types, so you've got the Legend of Zelda Battle Quest, Mario Chase, Pikmin Adventures, Luigi Ghost Mansion, Metroid Blast, Animal Crossing, Sweet Day, Yoshi's Fruit Cart, Takamura's Ninja Castle, Octopus Dance, Captain Falcon's Twister Race, Donkey Kong's Crash Course, and Balloon Trip Breeze, all of which showed off different features of the Wii U gamepad. So again, you know what it is, Nintendo release all these things like they did with the original Wii, and you got a similar thing with the Wii U. Be an interesting one to try out, and I'm looking forward to giving it a go. Next up is Just Dance 2015 for the Wii. The Wii U, sorry. As you can see, we got this from CEX at £2.50, which is not a bad price at all. Not one I particularly tried. The Just Dance things aren't really my type of games, but it's good to have in the Wii U collection and to build up that library. As the Wii U is probably one of the weaker collections I own at the moment. I only have about 20-25 games for it, so I'm looking forward to building that up where I can. Next up on the pickups list aren't technically games, but they are game related. I picked up for the Atari Jaguar games, I've got 2 new cases. So as you can see, we've got a case for Cybermorph and a case for Wolfenstein 3D. These are games that I didn't have any cases for. They usually come in like original boxes, but I didn't have any of the original boxes, so I found these on eBay and they're awesome. I'll probably leave a link to where I found them in this video, but they are like plastic VHS cases. as you can see, or old VHS cases or DVD cases, but they're made to fit Atari Jaguar games, and they look really cool. The artwork on them's really good. I think these are pretty much ripped straight from the original box designs, but it's just nice to have something to put these carts in so they're not loose and getting damaged. And with them not being cardboard boxes either, they're a lot more sturdier and fit on the shelves better. So they are a cool couple of add-ons or additions, should I say, for the Atari Jaguar. Next up, we have two actual Atari Jaguar games which I recently picked up, and the first one is Iron Soldier. You can see in this, you play as a pilot of a mech, so you're controlling a mech in like a early 3D world, or looks very early, but remember this was a 64-bit console, before 64-bit consoles were a thing, I guess. So this is one of the earlier examples of trying to create a 3D world where you control a mech and you go around destroying enemies. Very blocky, very basic colours. We'll go through a bit of the description, shall we? The Iron Soldier, or IS, is a 42-foot tall piloted robot that has been stolen from the Iron First Corporation by a bunch of rebels. They want you to pilot it. Arm yourself with a giant assault rifle, oil drum-sized hand grenades, or other massive weapons. Use them to stop the evil machinations of the Iron Fist Corporation. 16 different missions, each with a new city to romp through and a new objective to complete. Capture new weapons, destroy enemy IS units in melee combat, blast helicopters, and step on tanks. So it's meant to be a very kind of MechWarrior style game, before they had really figured out how to do 3D kind of MechWarrior style games, and as it with being on the Atari Jaguar, not very well known or probably very well received at the time, to be honest. But you can make up your own decision from the footage on the screen. Next up is, again, another Atari Jaguar game from Delphine Software, and US Gold presents Flashback: The Quest for Identity. There we go. This is an all-time classic. I've got this on the Super Nintendo and Mega Drive as well. It's an awesome looking game. Kind of used rotoscoping to create a very realistic type of kind of animation. I think you've probably seen rotoscoping in animated films and stuff in the past. It makes it kind of look really realistic, and it looked awesome. And on the box we've got your Conrad B. Hart, Galaxy Bureau of Investigation agent, and right now you're stranded on a faraway planet after discovering an alien plot to overtake Earth. You must travel and find your way through 4 planets back to Earth and foil an alien's sinister and deadly plans. The award-winning sci-fi action adventure comes to the Jaguar, and it's going to rip you right out of your comfortable little century and hurl you smack into a time and place that'll have you begging for a nap. An incredible gaming experience that breaks new ground in the areas of action and adventure. EGM's 94 Video Game Buyer's Guide. Film style, fluid 24 frames per second animation, and gives lifelike movements to the wild action game. It's a very cool kind of cyberpunk type game. This with some really cool action scenes in there. It's an awesome looking game, to be honest. It's just really hard to play unless you have had plenty of practice with it. But a brilliant game. I would recommend anyone giving it a try. Next up we have a few Sega Saturn games. These are Japanese Sega Saturn games, so unless you've got a modded Sega Saturn or a region free cart or a Japanese Saturn, these would be tricky to play. Also means they're also tricky to understand. But first up we have Puzzle Bobble 2X on the Sega Saturn. There we go. £4. These were picked up by a friend of ours who was at a convention at the time and saw them at a stall next to his and picked these up for us, so big thank you for that. Big shout out to John for picking those up for us. So like I said, we've got Puzzle Bobble 2, which I'm guessing you all know Puzzle Bobble, the crazy puzzle game where you've got to shoot down balloons as they come down to you and you play as weird little lizard dinosaur type dudes. Very cool, and glad to have that in the collection. And the final Sega Saturn game from Japan, again big thanks to John for this, is a Mah-jong type game. for the Saturn. I had a quick go on this, and it's quite an interesting one. Sorry about that, the light getting in the way. But it's Mah-jong set in all different areas of the world, as you can see on the screen. Probably now, it's all very different backgrounds, different type of things. The front of the case is amazing because for some bizarre reason it's got pictures of the Mona Lisa, JFK, the Eiffel Tower, Princess Di and Charles, really weird type things, a piano. So it's just a bizarre cover for what is basically a Mah-jong game on the Sega Saturn. Next up now, we are hitting the PlayStation 1 titles. So first up is a Japanese version, Enemy Zero, which I believe is Project Zero over here. Very cool case. It's like I believe it's like a survival horror type game. Not had much time to have a look at this. One of the main reasons is I can't play the whole thing because one of the discs is missing, so I'll be looking to add the additional disc to that so we can get fully into this. But I believe it's like a survival horror type game on the PS1, but it'd be very cool to check that out. Next up we have Gungrave on the PS1. The box is a bit battered. There we go. This is, you can see that, there we are. This is an interesting one because it plays very much like a Square Enix RPG. In fact, I believe this might be, no, I'm not seeing the Square Enix sign it, but it plays, yeah, very much like a Final Fantasy type RPG game. But you play as a guy that pilots a massive mech kind of robot thing, so maybe like a Gundam type RPG style game, which is very cool to have a go at, but will take a bit of time for me to get through because it's all in Japanese, so I have to use a translation program to try and understand what's going off. But still, it was a very cool looking game from what I did play, and I'm looking forward to learning more about it. Next up we have another Japanese PS1 game, and this is a bizarre one. This is Muscle Ranking Volume 1. As you can see there, this is probably one of the more bizarre games I have played on the PS1. And how this works is it presents itself as like a TV game show where you've got a bunch of athletic contests to get through against the computer, and obviously the winner at the end wins the big prize. And it's got things like tug of wars in there. I'm trying to remember what else we've got. Baseball. I think there's like an action course to get through, so a bit like Wipeout, but you get to choose your different contenders, and it's all presented to you as like it's a massive Japanese TV game show. It's a really interesting game and very, very quirky and out there. Next up for the PlayStation 1 is another Japanese game, and this is Elfin Paradise. I believe this is a Japanese dating sim type game, from what I've gathered. As you can see on the back, you got all sorts of showing like the different actors and actresses in the games who are doing the voiceovers, and it's kind of like a dating sim where you have to try and date a bunch of elves or fairies, something along those lines. Not played much of it myself, and what I could try and translate was very peculiar and different. But yeah, always nice to have something like this in the collection to round out the Japanese collections of PS1 games I got, because I don't have a huge amount. I've only recently started collecting Japanese PS1 games, but another interesting one to have in the collection. Next up, we're moving away from Japanese PS1 games to European ones. We've got a game from Infogrames here, and that is KKND Krossfire. So we don't have anything on the back, it's just a black background there. But from what I've played of this, KKND Krossfire is like a futuristic real-time strategy game on the PS1, so very reminiscent of things like Command and Conquer, which is really cool because they are a really fun type of game that I really up my alley. I enjoy the real-time strategy games, and the early ones on the PS1s were quite interesting because trying to use the controllers to play an RTS on a console wasn't quite as refined as what it is now, and even now it's still not great, but always cool to have this. And this was a donation to the CAF, so a big thank you for that. I really appreciate any donations we get to the CAF, and look forward to trying more of this out. I really like RTS games like this, so it'll be cool to see how this goes. Next up, another donation to the CAF, and this is a all-time classic on the PlayStation 1, and that is Populous: The Beginning. This is a god-type game on the PS1 where you create a civilization and try and build it up and take over other areas and compete against other civilizations throughout the ages. So let's have a little look on the back of the box, shall we, and see what this says on there. So we've got, feel the divine power. With Populous, the god sim was created and millions of gamers who coveted earned your immortality by taming wild men and training tribesmen in stunningly beautiful worlds. Wield your earth-shattering powers to wreak havoc and hold them under your command. We have a unique geomorphic 3D engine that brings you 360 degrees fully rotating globe. Wield up to 19 devastating spells to master 25 worlds. Stunning graphics allow you to view from on higher or zoom down to a detailed ground level perspective. So yeah, it's basically a god game where you build up your civilizations to conquer others and complete missions and all that good stuff. Typically these play much better on PCs, but it's a Bullfrog game. So the guys that brought you Theme Hospital and all that, Theme Park and all that good stuff. I believe Theme Park was one of those. Interesting game to play, and these type of games are really cool. They were a bit rough around the edges on the PlayStation because ideally they're better suited for PCs, but always good to have in the collection, as I've been mentioning for the rest of the games as well, and thank you for the donation. So, next up we have a couple of original Xbox games. These are recent pickups. We have Mad Dash Racing. There we go. This is another kind of version of kart racing. Where did I pick this up from? I think I picked this up from CEX. Not sure. I believe this was a CEX pickup, but anyway. Back of the box, we've got to do whatever it takes to win this mad race for survival. Glide across rivers of steaming lava, bash through mammoth builders, or knock your opponents off the track with hand-to-hand combat. Compete with a motley crew of characters in ruthless 1 to 4 player racing. Thwart your opponents with traps, trickery, explosives, attacks like rolling boulders, TNT and heat-seeking missiles. Groove to a bass-pounding soundtrack by Moby, Fatboy Slim, Crystal Method, Propellerheads, and many more. Fine-tune a variety of moves including rail grinding, power slides, dive tackles, and energy boost stunts. So like I said, a basic kart racing game with all different types of features and stuff in there. Kind of guessing riding on the success of things like Mario Kart. Looking forward to giving this a try. I believe from the receipt, yep, this was a CEX purchase, to answer that question. And there should be some cool looking footage of this on the screen as we speak. That is Mad Dash Racing on the original Xbox. Next up for the original Xbox, we have Bad Boys 2, a movie tie-in game. These are always dubious things to be playing because generally movie tie-in games are a bit pants, but this one is a third-person action game. Similar in looks to like a Grand Theft Auto, but I don't believe it's nearly as open world as something like that, where you play as Mike Lowry and Marcus Burnett of TNT Tactical Narcotics Team. They are back and also bad, according to the box. Featuring all the fast pace and all-out action of the movie, it's your job to ensure that these TNT cops are not DOA. Somewhere on the streets of Miami, something is going down which must be stopped. So you can play as Mike or Marcus, each with their own personality and characters, first and third person viewpoints, large variety of weapons, fully destructible environments. Again, they put first and third person viewpoints as a action point again. Unique bad boy rating system rewards your actions and achievements. 13 stages of fast-paced all-action gameplay, multiple mission objectives. So basically it's a third-person action shooter game where it's a movie tie-in to the Bad Boys 2 movie. Next up we have a few 360 games on the recent pickups. We have Brothers in Arms Hell's Highway. Right away the night there. This was a charity shop pickup for £2, which is not too bad. We have this as, on the back of the box, mentioning there is only one way out of hell, and that's through it. September 1944, it was one of the darkest moments of World War II, claiming the lives of 17,000 Allied soldiers in only 9 days. History books call it Operation Market Garden, but the men on the 101st Airborne knew it as Hell's Highway. Got a new cover system and massively destructible environments, command bazooka teams, machine gun squads and tanks, an uncompromising vision of the war based on a true story. Published by Ubisoft, and this is a Gearbox software game. Got footage of it up on the screen now. Looking forward to giving this one a try because I never played this when it first came out. Tended to avoid the realistic war-based shooters at the time. I was more interested in the sci-fi type stuff. So I didn't play much of things like Brothers in Arms, Call of Duty, Medal of Honor, stuff like that at the time, but I'm looking forward to giving this a try now. Next up for the 360 is Perfect Dark Zero. Again, another charity shop pickup for £2. Not too bad. I already have a copy of this in the collection, but always handy to have another backup, and at £2 I thought, why not? This is made by the guys, I believe, that made GoldenEye back in the day. I think this is a Rare Software game. Yep, Rare Software, Microsoft Game Studios. 2020 corporations control everything with one exception. The year is 2020, the future is dark, ruthless corporations compete in a savage unseen war for global dominance fueled by vengeance. Joanna Dark is thrown into the raging battle of corporate conspiracy and corruption, where truth and fate of the world rests on the barrel of her gun. Leap into next generation of gaming as you guide Joanna through the gripping prequel to the original mega hit Perfect Dark. So, done by the same studio. This is obviously a prequel to the awesome Perfect Dark game, which was on the N64. Don't think this was as well received, even though it doesn't seem like a bad game. Really like Perfect Dark on the N64, and I played a bit of this and I quite enjoy it. I'm looking forward to giving this more of a try when I get a chance. Next up is another 360 game which we already have, but I tend to pick these up where I can, and these are double packs on the 360. So this one is Viva Piñata and Forza Motorsport 2, which are a strange thing because you don't usually associate those two together. But I always like to pick up these double packs where I can. You got 2 separate discs. You got Viva Piñata and Forza. I'm just knocking the mic down there, but yeah. So you got the double pack of Forza 2 and Viva Piñata. Viva Piñata being like a garden type sim where you got to create a garden for your piñatas to grow and breed and expand, and like a farming type sim at the same time. It's a very interesting one, very fun game. It was one of the early 360 games as well. Again, published by Rare. And Forza 2, or Forza Motorsport 2 for the 360. Typical racing style game, sim game. Well, you know the Forza games, I'm sure you've played them. The Forza games aren't really ones that I go for, but the Viva Piñata, I find that quite a cool, relaxing game to play, and look forward to giving that a go again. Like I said, it was one of the earlier 360 games that came out, and I always like picking up these bundle copies wherever I can because I find them quite interesting, to be honest, to have like the 2-in-1 pack bundle. I believe these kind of shipped with the consoles themselves, so nice to have that in the collection again. Next up is a Xbox Series X game which we've recently purchased, one of the latest releases, and that is Robocop Rogue City. I'm currently playing through this at the moment, and I'm really enjoying this. This is like a first-person shooter where you play as Robocop, part man, part machine, or cop. Your mission: eradicate crime from the streets of Detroit. Your strengths, robotic upgrades, and the strong arm of the law. Your weapons, anything necessary. So this is done by Nacon and Teon. This is set between, I believe, the second and third Robocop film. They brought the original cast back to voice and use their likenesses, so it feels like it's straight out of one of the Robocop movies. The original soundtrack's in there, the music's awesome. You get to go through Detroit and deal Robocop's brand of justice. You get to, I mean, the graphics in it are awesome, like shooting guys and they just explode. It feels very much like the original films do. And it's really cool that they've managed to get the original cast back to portray the characters in this. It also has an interesting kind of leveling up system where you can level up your skills. They get better. You can unlock dialogue options, which I'm assuming as time goes on affect how the game plays out. I'm not that far into it yet, but you get different dialogue options, how you interact with people, and certain skills will unlock more options. It's a really interesting game and it's really good. I'm really enjoying this at the moment, so I'd recommend people try this out if you get the chance, and that is Robocop Rogue City. And last but not least, by any far, this is awesome. This is a donation to the CAF, or a gift to the CAF, by a good friend of ours, Dave, who runs D&L Prints. I believe you would have seen a lot of his stuff at the CAF. We have like the Pokemon frames up on the wall of his, and this is one of the latest things that they're doing, which are printed slates. And check this out. So we've got a Nintendo's 80s slate there with all sorts of details on. You can see we've got things like the NES, all the different game posters around, kids sat there playing on the NES pad. This is awesome. It's got some real weight to it and it's really nice. And basically we're going to have this on display at the CAF, so massive thanks to Dave for this at D&L Prints. I will leave a link in the description to their page on Facebook, I believe it is, and if you want anything like this, do all sorts of different design prints and stuff, but this one is absolutely awesome. Really impressed with it. So go check out their Facebook page, and if there's anything you like there, give them a shout out. They're really awesome peeps over there, good friends of ours, and I can't thank them enough for this. It is awesome, so a big thank you for Dave for that. Right, well, that brings us to the end of our recent pickups. I hope you've enjoyed this video. A bit different from the usual videos where we usually do the Play Extra Life series. So I thought I'd do a random pickup to show you some of the goodies that we've recently picked up. Some of these will definitely be available at the at Extra Life coming up shortly. Once I'm done with Robocop, I'm sure that'll end up at the CAF as well, but at the moment I'm enjoying that at home, so that'll be available at the CAF once I'm done with it, which shouldn't take too long, to be fair. I don't think it's a massive game. But yeah, anyway, big thank you for watching this, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, I'll leave links to the people I've mentioned throughout this in the video for you to go check out if you wish. Feel free to come down and check out Extra Life Gaming Lounge. We have a wide range of homemade food, drinks, desserts, burgers, milkshakes, all proper ice cream milkshakes, homemade burgers, homemade desserts, which change on a weekly basis. There's always something new there, as well as a massive range of video games and consoles for you all to check out. So please feel free to come down, say hello. Other than that, just a big thank you for watching this video, and we'll catch you all in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.